I move the camera. This is fair. Hello guys, so welcome back to day 7 of 100 days of Microsoft Power BI on the channel. My name is Sheriffdeen. So welcome back if you're an existing subscriber, and welcome if you're a new subscriber. So basically what we are doing on this live stream for the next 100 days is actually learning and mastering the data analytics tool, Microsoft Power BI, for the next 100 days. Today is day 7. If you've missed previous lesson and previous section, previous live stream, you can watch the recordings on the channel to catch up. It's quite important to watch the previous live stream so you can follow along accordingly with the lessons. So without further ado, let's get started. Also, the data sets or data science files that you need to practice along while learning with me will be linked below under the YouTube description. Do make sure to check it out and download it and practice also. So without any other delay, let's get started. That's all I have for you. So let's get to learning. So we are on the DataCamp platform. Let me just edit my camera real quick to show me pretty well. Yeah, I think we are back. Yeah. So we are actually using the DataCamp platform to learn and master Power BI. We are currently on the career track, data analyst in Power BI. When I started this whole live streaming idea, we started with data analysis in SQL, so you can catch up with that on the channel. Also, you are definitely going to learn one or two things. So we actually did data analysis in SQL, and I still have some resources, some knowledge, some experiences, and some projects I want to share on it. But let's continue data analysis in Power BI. Currently, I see data analysis in Power BI, and this actually contains 17 courses estimated for 48 hours. And today we've actually finished introduction to Power BI. So make sure to watch the previous live stream to catch up on that. And on this live stream, which is day 7, we'll finish introduction. Sorry about that. Introduction to DAX in Power BI. So we have one more chapter to complete in this part of the course. Don't forget the whole career track contains 17 courses. We've only been able to cover 2 courses within the last 7 days. We should cover 2. We should complete the last chapter in the second course today. Then we move to other section of the course. You can see it's a whole lot to cover over the next 100 days. So without further ado, so that's all we've been doing so far. So let's resume track and continue learning. Do not forget, the data set can be downloaded using the link in the YouTube description. So the last chapter here is called Working with Dates. So in this chapter, you learn the Power BI, the power of DAX, date and time intelligence function. You will be able to use these functions in actions, as well as use quick measures to create complex DAX code. So catch up on getting started with DAX and context in DAX formula in the previous 2 live streams. Let me just put on my headsets so I can hear the instructor. So let me download the slide first. I always love to download the slide so I can have that opened in my second screen. That should have complete. Download complete. Okay, so let's continue the lesson. All right.
Welcome back. In this chapter, we will be looking at dates in Power BI. We'll learn about the importance of having a standalone date table, as well as how to use date and time intelligence functions in DAX. We'll finish off this chapter by learning how to create quick measures. Power BI has hundreds of built-in functions available. We'll walk through some example date and time, format, and time intelligence functions using the date 20th September 2020 at 12:52 p.m. as our datetime argument. Using some of the date and time functions, we can pass through our datetime. For the year function, it will return 2020 quarter returns 3, and month returns 9. However, on some occasions, we want dates formatted in ways that the current date and time functions cannot provide. For example, if we want the weekday name of the date, we need to use the format function, where we pass our argument and the desired format expression. In this case, we will type D 4 times. An exhaustive list of all format functions can be found in the DAX documentation. Power BI also has various time intelligence functions available, but we'll look at them later when creating quick measures. Working with dates in your reports is very common. There will always be occasions where we need to evaluate data in a time series to be able to spot trends and patterns. Out of the box, DAX has useful functions and features that support working with dates. It contains over 20 date and time functions and over 30 time intelligence functions, and it is able to generate date hierarchies to drill down on visualizations. Date hierarchies can be very useful, but there are some pitfalls that occur when relying on dates from a transactional table like sales. Time intelligence functions rely on having dates in a table that contains no gaps. For example, if our sales table had no transactions for a particular day, then the function which called it will return the wrong result. This is important to consider because it will not return an error, just the wrong result, making it difficult to troubleshoot. A dedicated date table in your model is highly recommended for accurate reporting, particularly if you'll be using time intelligence functions. There are many benefits for using a dedicated date table. You can filter across multiple date attributes such as month and year. You can create custom calendar views and definitions to match your financial year. Additionally, you can use time intelligence features to select a time horizon, such as last 30 days. You can then apply this to many types of analysis, including revenue by day of week, fiscal, and public holiday performance. Let's learn how to create our date table. In DAX, there are two ways to achieve this. First, we can use the calendar function. It takes two arguments, a start and an end date, and returns a table with a single column containing a list of dates inclusive of the specified dates. In this example, we are creating a date table for dates between 1st of January 2020 to 31st of December 2020. The other function we can use is Calendar Auto. Behind the scenes, it calls the calendar function. Power BI will automatically provide the earliest and latest date in the model as arguments. However, fiscal year end month needs to be specified for the last fiscal month you want to see after the last date. For example, if the last date was 2020-07-27 and we specified 12, we'd see the dates until the end of the year. Now that you've learned how to work with dates, let's practice.
So you can actually create a date table in Power BI using the calendar function or the calendar auto function. So it says creating a calculated table. Creating calculated tables are common in Power BI to help extend your data model. The head of business intelligence has agreed that it is necessary to have a dedicated date table and would like to use a DAX function to create this table based on dates in our sales table. No indentation necessary for this exercise. So a DAX function has been created for you, but it's currently returning an error. Organize the DAX in the correct order for the code to execute without error. So you have to say, you start with dates equals to mm-hmm, mm, let's just say calendar. So what is the calendar function? So want to extract the order dates, the minimum order dates from the sales table, comma, the maximum order date to create the task table. That's quite straightforward and easy. Okay, we're moving to the next lecture here. Pretty straightforward there.
Similar to previous chapters, we'll be working with the commodity dataset. First, we'll create a calculated date table, learn how to apply functions, and understand how to create our first quick measure. We'll start by creating a new page called Dates. In previous lessons, we covered the importance of a well-formatted date table. So let's create it. Let's navigate to the Modeling tab and select New Table. This will open up a new formula bar, and we'll start by naming our table Dates. Next, we'll start by using the calendar auto function, which takes an argument for the fiscal year end month. We'll be using 12, meaning DAX will return a table from January 2000 to December 2022. We can now commit this table to our model. Navigating to
Let's do that one more time.
start by creating a new page. We'll be working with the commodity dataset. First, we'll create a calculated date table, learn how to apply functions, and understand how to create our first quick measure. We'll start by creating a new page called Dates. In previous lessons, we covered the importance of a well-formatted date table. So let's create it. Let's navigate to the Modeling tab and select New Table. This will open up a new formula bar, and we'll start by naming our table Dates. Next, we'll start by using the calendar auto function, which takes an argument for the fiscal year end month. We'll be using 12, meaning DAX will return a table from January 2000 to December 2022.
Oh, okay. So if I put 12 here, calendar auto 12. So we'll be using 12, which means DAX will return a table from January 2000 to December 2022. That's like 2022. So are you telling me that the calendar auto dates start from January 2000? Or if I check the slides, let me check the slide. With a single column date that automatically takes the earliest and latest date in the model and internally calls, okay, it is based on the model. Okay. I prefer to use the calendar function. It can just easily mention the start dates and the end dates. Well, calendar auto returns a table with a single column dates that automatically takes the earliest and the latest dates in the model. Internally calls, okay. Let's continue.
We can now commit this table to our model. Navigating to our model view, we see our new dates table containing one column, Date.
Okay.
Currently, there is no relationship defined between our commodities table and our dates table. Let's create a relationship between the two tables by dragging Date from the dates table over Date in the commodities table. Let's move back to the report view. We can see our dates table in the field pane. Awesome! Now that we have a dates table, we can utilize the built-in date functions in DAX to add additional layers of information to our table. Let's create a new calculated column in our dates table called Year. Using the Year function from DAX returns a year from the date argument. In this case, we'll be using the date column from the dates table. Now we can commit this new column by clicking the check mark. As you can see, this new column has been added to our dates table in the field pane. Let's dive into the topic of quick measures. Quick measures are a feature in DAX that allow you to create complex DAX functions using a drag and drop interface. We can create a new quick measure from the home pane. Doing this allows you to see the range of calculations that you can use quick measures for, including aggregate, filter, and time intelligence functions. Since our primary focus is on working with dates, we'll be using the rolling average function that will return the average of a base value over a certain period of time. For our quick measure, we will look at the average close price over a 3-year period. Quick reminder, our dataset has over 20 years of data, so 3-year periods will help us assess the long-term trends. We'll be using close from our commodities table, which is the close price of the commodity on a given day. We'll then adjust the aggregation to average. Next, we'll use our newly created date column from the dates table for the date. Finally, we'll adjust the period to years and leave the periods before as 1 and periods after as 3. Great! Now, if we select our newly created measure, we can see it's a complex piece of DAX code. This has been used to create the rolling average function. Let's visualize the difference between the average close and the rolling average close. We'll create a line and stacked column chart to compare. We'll use date into our shared axis field. In our columns value, we'll bring in close from the commodities table and change the aggregation from sum to average using the drop-down. Finally, we'll drag our newly created measure, rolling average, as the line value. As you can see from the graph above, the rolling average is a smooth line. This is because rolling averages are useful for long-term trends and are not prone to occasional fluctuations like we see in 2011 and 2012. Our yearly trends are much more volatile versus our rolling average, which shows a general trend moving upwards with a slight dip between 2012 and 2015. Now it's your turn. And the rolling average close from the commodities table and change the aggregation from sum to average. Now it's your turn. Let's practice.
I was looking to see the way she explained that calculation. The way she explained the charts. So I have to replay it one more time to understand. Okay, so it's time to get our hands dirty. So let's practice expanding the dates table. In our previous lesson, we discussed the importance of having a well-formatted date table. A date table has already been created using the calendar function that takes into arguments. For our dates table, we have generated dates from the first order date to the last order date. So some columns have already been created, but we are going to expand on this by creating new columns using date and text function to work out which day of the week a particular day is. So open extending dates table. Let me just open the file for my local system, which is 3.1. Do not forget to download the exercise files following the link under the description so you can practice along. I could just close this and wait for my Power BI to load. So we name page 1 and call it dates table. Create a new column in the dates table called day number that uses day function to calculate the day number in the month. Use dates.date for this new column. If you want to create just a simple function there. So I have my files opened already. So they've actually created the dates table for us. So if we go to the data model view, you can see the dates table here. I'll just minimize this. So this is our dates table connected to the sales data. So if you go to the table view, like select, so this is actually date table. So you can see the first day is 2017. I think the first day is the 7th month, 7th of January 2017. And the last record year is 2020. So I could just go back. So I'll read this function one more time. So it says create a new column in the dates table called day number that uses day function. So I want to create a new column in the, I just select the dates table and I click on new column right here. I can also do the same in the table view. But let's do that here. And see, this is the function that actually generated the dates table for us. So extracting the order dates, the minimum order date and the maximum order dates from the sales records that contained it. That's quite interesting. So let me create a new column in my dates table. So you can see the new column. So we have to call it day, which will be equal to, according to the instruction, okay, call it day number. But we're supposed to call it day number, which is equal to the day function. So I just point to the dates. So use dates does dates for this new column. I just point to the dates. Yeah. I could ignore the day. Since I want to extract, the day is going to extract it, so I could ignore the extra function there. Let's commit that and see. So I'm using the extract day from the date column. If I go back to the data table view, you can see, so it is extracting the day number from each date here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, you can see here. So that should be correct. That function did that for us really quick there. So it says create a new column in date called day short name. We're going to create a new column called day short name. So all these 1, 2, 3, we actually want to give whether it is a Monday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday, a Thursday. So how can we do that? I can actually do that here also. I can create where is it? You can see new column here also. You can see this is my actual column that was created from using this DAX function here. I can just click on new column again and do that here. So I want to call it day short name or day short name. Day short name, which should be equal to, using the format function, we're actually going to format this day number and give it something else. So that uses format with dates to return 3 letters short name for days. Okay, we're also going to use, I could have actually used this day number, but let's use the dates table. Then comma. The format should now be DDD. So DDD should return the, I think, yeah, let's commit that and see. Oh, that works fine. So I just pick the dates from here. So I'm actually the 7th. Oh, the 1st of January is a Saturday. That's the 2nd of January is a Sunday. 3rd of January 2017 year. Oh, this is not even January. Yeah, hold up. This is 7th month. So the months numbers are here. So this is July, the 7th month of 2017. Well, I made a mistake there. So I wasn't paying attention. So the date format is very important. So it's actually formatted as month, day, year. So we'll talk about date format later. So you can see the month number here. So the month number is the first one, is 777. While the day is 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can see. So in the report, we create a table that shows dates without hierarchy and day short name. So if I go back to the report view, right here, you see I should create a table. If I come and insert a table in my chart here, or let's create a table. Let's make that big like that. So to show, so in the report view, create a table that shows dates without hierarchy and day short name. So I want to show dates with the day or that shows, hold up. You said that shows what? That shows dates and day short name. To show dates without the hierarchy, this can be done by using the drop down on dates by clicking the arrow next to it and selecting date instead of date hierarchy. Okay, so I really need to show the day. Okay, there's an hierarchy. Okay, so I need to select the day and the day short name. Oh, so this should work fine. So the date has been put them together to create an hierarchy. So what day of the week is July 1st? Oh, that should be Saturday or Sunday. July 1st is Friday. Yeah, July 1st is Friday. If I go back to the instruction that shows, so to show dates without the hierarchy, this can be done by using the drop down on dates by clicking the arrow next to it and selecting dates instead of dates hierarchy. They've actually selected dates. Okay. Yeah, I'm supposed to select dates. Let's see what I'm missing. This is not fair. Hmm. So it's asking me to select dates. If I select dates, that is hierarchy already. So I'm not supposed to select dates. I'm supposed to select dates, not day. But the day is definitely showing day 1, 2, or 3, or 4. But it is saying here to show dates without the hierarchy. This can be done by using the drop down on dates by clicking the arrow next to it and selecting dates instead of date hierarchy. So there's no actual dates here. So it is day, month, quarter, year, not date hierarchy. So there's a mistake from their end also, but this should be a Friday. According to it, that should be Friday, July 4th, 2017. It's a Friday. Even if I go back to the data view here, I see July 4th. Oh, it's a Saturday. So July 4th, 2017 is a Saturday. I could actually know that from here without actually using the report view. So it's a Saturday. Or let me just log that in. The other ways to know that, if I use short name, it's a Saturday, it accepted it. So that was cool, easy to do. So then we have actually done with this part, this exercise file. I could just save that for reference and close it. So in this case, we're opening date different, another file called date diff. So the logistic team, so let me just read that here. The logistic team at Adventure Works would like to understand the timeline from customers making an order to the delivery being due. We're utilizing the date diff function to calculate the difference. Note, date time data in Power BI can change based on your geographical location. All dates in this exercise are based on US geographical location, so have been created and formatted as month, day, year, exactly. So I realized that earlier. So for this exercise, add a new page and call it date diff. So let's open the exercise file, add a new page and call it date diff. Oh, this is the solution to the previous exercise, but they actually use date hierarchy there. If I select it, as you can see, they actually use the date hierarchy. If I click on their own drop down menu, drop down here, you can see day, month, year, quarter, year. There's no actual dates, but that is solved. There are many ways to skin a cat in Power BI and definitely Excel. See, we should name this dates diff according to the instruction and says, okay, create a new column in the sales table called order to delivery. So we are creating a new column in the sales table called order new column. We want to call it order to delivery. Order to delivery. Then that calculate the number of days between order date and delivery due dates. So that will be date diff. You can use the date diff function to calculate the number of days between when the another was placed and the delivery dates. That's quite straightforward. So create a card visual. Okay, you can use date diff to do that. Let's do that first. Let's say date diff. So date 1 and date 2. So that should be order, calculate the number of days between order date and delivery date. So if you have an order date column here, order date, okay, you can see we have order dates here. So that is the first argument, comma, date 2 is delivery date. Should we have a delivery date there? Delivery due date, so we have it here. Between this order dates and this delivery dates. No, actually isn't. I want to use dates as the difference. But let me see if I close it. It's telling me it's expecting additional parameter. What parameter is that? What am I missing? Let me rewrite that. Date div, date 1, date 2. You can see the order dates, comma, delivery due dates, close brackets. So what additional are you asking for? Oh, I'm getting an error that my argument is not correct. Oh, so let's check that. Okay, we need to know the average number of days a customer should wait for delivery. But I'm missing something with the date function, yeah? What am I missing? Delivery due dates. I need to point to a table. I don't need to point to a table. What am I missing? Let me go for int. Int. It says, have you calculated order delivery correctly? Your calculated column should look like this. Order to delivery equal to date div, sales order date, comma, sales delivery, comma. Is it comma or O? Probably I'm using O. I think I found my error. I'm not supposed to be using dots there. I'm supposed to be using comma. But it's not supposed to be comma. The interval should be day. Oh, I knew that was what I was missing. So I'm calculating it wrongly. So the interval between these two dates should be in day. No, so I'm using comma. I'm using full stop there or period instead of using a comma. That's why I was having an error there. So that solves this. Then we have to create a card visual to drop this in. So we have to draw the order to delivery calculation here. So 4.1 k delivery. Okay, so it's giving us in sum. I need to change it to aggregation to average. So the person has to wait 7 days, at least 7.5. Let's say here, 7 to 6 days, 7 to 8 days for average order of delivery for a delivery period. Okay. What is the average number of days the customer has to wait for their order to be delivered? This is 7 points. That would be 7.47. That's correct. So we lost kept 10 marks. So that's right. It takes an average 7.47 days for our customers to receive their product. Now our VP of logistics can work on improving efficiency and reducing this number. If you've got 9.75, it means your dates are different. This is different Power BI geographical location. You carried out the right steps though. Okay. That's interesting to know. But it's cool that you actually calculated this is the total delivery number of days for the whole delivery in the whole data sets for the whole sales record. So it's 451,000 days of delivery. So looking at the average, just change the aggregation to sum here to average day. So that's interesting to know. So we learned a new function today, or back here. So we are looking at your first quick measure. So quick measures are a really powerful feature in DAX that enables you to carry out complex calculations without needing to write the code from scratch. You can learn more about quick measures from Microsoft. That is Microsoft documentation to learn more. So if you lost progress, so let's open our last files here called quick measure. Do I have it there? Oh, I have it here. I think this is the last exercise file here. So add a new page and call it quick measure. So create a new quick measure that calculate quarter over quarter. By quarter over quarter. That is the first quarter, the second quarter, and the third quarter for total sales over one period, over a year. So total over quarter for a period of 1 year. So in this case, it is not possible to click OK. In this case, it is not possible to click the OK button in quick measure window. You can always zoom in, zoom out by using the button at the bottom right of your screen. Oh, I'm using my local machine, so I should be able to click OK. So let's create our new calculation called a new sheet called quick measure. We create a new page, quick measure. So for this calculation, we want to learn to calculate using quick measure. We want to calculate a new quick measure that calculates quarter over quarter change for total sales over one period. Okay, that's interesting. So how do we do that? Create a line chart. So let's create the quick measure first based on the okay. If we click on quick measure, so it should be under calculation no matter where it is going to be. It should be under calculation. We click on quick measure, so this pane gets open. So we want to create what are we going to call this? It says quarter over quarter change for total sales. Is there anything like that? Okay, I can see the quarter over quarter change. Okay, we have it here. It's the time intelligence function called quarter over quarter change. Okay, if I open that, so I need to provide the base value and the dates. Number of period is 1 year. So calculate the quarter over quarter change for the base value. So our base value is going to be our total sales. Okay, total sales. We can add our data here. Go to the sales table. Let's look for total sales. Oh, we have our calculation here called total sales. Okay, and our dates. Okay, if I click on more information, the value for which you want to calculate the change, the date field over which to calculate the change. Our date field should now be what? Should it be the date? Is it the day or the date? If I select the old dates, is that going to make sense? Let's see. Then over a period, number of period 1 year. So this one says the number of past period over which to calculate the change. But I'm pretty confused about the dates difference. So date option. You can also do dates. You can see I have day, months, quarter, year. I don't have the actual dates. But let's see if it's going to select. Let's see first. So in this case, it's not possible to click OK button in quick measure window. You can always zoom out by using the button at the bottom right of the screen. Okay, let's see. Create a line chart and cluster column chart to show the total sales Q over Q and total sales by year and quarter using the data hierarchy in dates table. So let's look at our calculation. Can I rename I can't rename it. Okay, let's add dates. Let's add this and see if it's going to make sense. So the total sales, okay, it's actually added this for us. If you look at it, the calculation from here, oh, this is quite long. Like I can't even understand it. But let's look at it if it's going to correct. So time intelligence quick measure can only be grouped or filtered by the Power BI provided data hierarchy or primary dates column. Okay, let's log that in. Seems to be correct. Okay, now we have to drop a line chart. So we actually use our quick measure. Let me go to Build Visual. Let's drop a line chart. This is a line chart. I want to visualize that quick measure real quick. So it says we have to drop total sales and total sales by year and quarter using the data hierarchy in dates. Total sales Q over Q. So total sales, then total sales. Then I need to provide the the grouping, the secondary axis, use the dates here by year and what? Year and quarter. Okay. Ooh, this looks somehow. But let's enlarge that and see. So these are total sales below here, just a straight line. Then total sales. I think I need to drill up or drill down to make sense out of it. So what is the total sales Q over Q for quarter 4 in 2018? Let's look at it, whether we got that for quarter 4. So this is looking down to here. So if I go drill up, drill, click to turn on drill down, drill up. This is drilling up by year. So this is by year. 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. But if you look at even the calculation is in percentage, right? But let's drill down. I think I have to drill down in the hierarchy. So this quarter what? Which year is this? So I'm actually on the year. This is by year. Or which quarter is this? Oh, I can't actually figure out the quarter yet. This quarter of what? So if I look at it, says what is the total sales Q over Q for quarter 4? If you look at this quarter 4, but you can't know the actual year it is showing. Quarter 4 of which year? You have no idea which year it is showing. Quarter 4 is still here. This quarter 3 of which year? So it's pretty hard to know the year it is. I need to change my drill section. So I think I'm making so. Oh, I'm looking at it by year. This is July 2017, July 2018, July 2018. If I drill on this, I'm drilling by year now, looking at it by year. So 20, what? It says 2018, quarter 4. So this is 2018. This is for the whole of 2018. Minus 7.88. That is for the whole of 2018. So I need to go to quarter 4. Let me be calm and try to figure that out. Except I remove the dates column. I just remove the old dates. If I go to quarter only and I add year to it. Oh, this is wrong. So I added it the wrong way. It's supposed to be year, quarter. So now let's figure out how to get to the drilling down to the quarter. So if I go back to the instruction, okay, create a line chart and clustered column. Oh, I'm missing this. I was supposed to create a line chart with a clustered column chart to show the total sales. So I only created a line chart, not a cluster column. So if I go back here, it said clustered column. This clustered column is going to show a line chart. See, I was using the wrong visual. I have a challenge visualizing the results. You could see, so my bad. So my line chart is going to contain both the, where's my calculation? Total sale Q and total sale. Then the dates will now make sense out of it. There's where I need to place this, but let me drop it manually first. I want to do year, quarter. You can see. So a line chart. So I need to turn one of these to a line chart. So, So I'm not showing it very well. So how did she create that line chart the other time? So I need to watch how she actually drop this in what. So one is going to be, it says create a line chart and a cluster column chart to show total sales. So our total sales is going to be a line chart, which is, and the total sales is going to be a cluster column chart. Okay, so trying to figure that out. Okay, now let's do it one more time. So one is going to be, let's double say, if I add, is it possible to add, hold up. It will make sense there. It's even accept it. So I need to look at the way she actually dropped that line chart clustered column. So that's one of the ways of learning. Line and stack column, hold up, line and clustered column. So I was choosing the wrong visual the other time. So this is the right visual now. I knew I was choosing the wrong visual to visualize those results. So if I drop it right now, so one will be in the column axis, one will be on the line axis. So my line axis is going to be this. Let me drop it manually. Let me see if it's going to drop it. Correct. Then this should be my wrong. This should be my y axis. I can drop this here. Aha. So it's not making sense. Now I need to add my dates column now into the, which is going to be year, quarter. Aha. You see, so I was doing it wrongly the other time. So wrong the other time. Now it is now making sense. You can see by year and quarter using the date hierarchy in dates. Now say what's the total sales scale quarter over quarter for quarter 4 in 2018. So total sales, which is this line here, for quarter 4 of 2018. Look at quarter 4 of 2018. Let's look at that. That should be this total sales dates 2018 quarter 4. We want to look at total sales Q over Q 2018 quarter 4, which is 3%. Oh, so I had to figure out this one here. Absolutely. Yeah. Round of applause for me. I was choosing the wrong visual to visualize my results, so I was just wasting my time earlier. But it's cool, I was able to figure out how. Oh, we still have one more to do. So, so let's close this. This is quite interesting to know and do. So let's close that. Save, yes, definitely saving. So in the last exercise, you created a quick measure, total sales Q over Q, that calculated quarter over quarter changes in total sales. So the senior management team would like to understand year-over-year changes in number of sales. Therefore, you need to create a copy of total sales measure and adjust it to calculate year-over-year changes. So let's now create year-over-year. So if you lost progress, that stuff. So add a new page and call it year-over-year. Okay. In the calculation table, review the DAX from the quick measure total sales that you created in the last exercise. Now duplicate this measure and rename it sales counts year-over-year. Adjust the query to calculate here. Adjust the query. How do I adjust the query? That's not fair. I think I'll just create year-over-year. Let's say if I can adjust the query according to their instruction. So we're going to add a new page and call it, so one last new page and call it year-over-year. Oh, wait a minute. We are calling it year-over-year. Okay. So in the calculation table, review the DAX from the quick measure, total sales Q over Q that you created in the last exercise. Now duplicate this measure and rename it sales count year over year. So we are going back to this calculation here, total sales Q over Q. If this error or blah blah blah, I don't know where I could rename it. So rather than saying total sales, calculate total sales. So let's see if we can rename that. Calculate total sales, date at dates, does dates minus 1 quarter. So rather than saying quarter here, we could say year. Yeah, interesting. Let's see if I can do that. So if I click on it, I'll click on where it duplicates. How do I quickly do that? How to feed the new column, new quick measure, rename, delete for model. I think I just need to copy it. If I want to do, I need to copy it like this. Ctrl C and create a new measure. And paste that. So we have to rename it. What are we to rename it? Sales counts y over y percent. Sales counts y over y percent. So we have to call it sales counts y over y percent. So now let's modify it. So in the calculation table, review the DAX from the quick measure totals that you created in the last exercise. Now duplicate this measure and rename it. Okay. Adjust the query to calculate y over year growth for sales count and format as percentage. So adjust it to calculate what? Y over year. So let me look deep into it and see where we need to adjust it. So this is the previous quarter. Calculate total sales, date add dates. For our total sales calculation, in this date add function. So rather than saying dates, I could just say, let's choose year. So rather than saying quarter year, let's select year from year. Just using my previous knowledge of Excel to do this. So return. So these are variable. So I'll just leave it this variable as this. So start dates. Okay. I'm looking deep again. Do I need to change anything there? For sales count, do I have any? Okay, for sales count. So I'm not doing it for. I'm not doing this for total sales. I'm doing it for sales counts. I didn't pay attention there. I'm doing it for sales counts. Sales count, the sales count measure. Let's see, sales count, date are dates, year, which is 1 year period over each other. Let me look deep into it. So don't forget, we are doing it for this calculation called sales count, which is just counting the total sales there. Let's log that in first. Hopefully it is correct, no error. If you look at the sales count function, we're just counting the distance count. So we want to, so this one is calculating it's calculating count of sales year over year. Now let's see if we make sense out of it. We have to drop the line and cluster column charts as usual for the previous lesson. Okay. Now it says for sales can format it as a percentage. I didn't format it as a percentage. Let me go back there. Sales count format as percentage. Let's see. Now it says create a line chart that shows sales count. Okay, a line chart. I'm to drop a line chart, not this. Let me change this to a line chart. So a line chart, okay. Let's drop sales counts there. Oh, it can't display it. Why? Oh, okay. It should be to display it now. Using by year, using dates. Okay, by year. Let me drop the date hierarchy here. Oh, it can't display it. Okay, a column. So one of my dates here is not a type of dates. Why? Oh, let's see. Let's take some hints. So go to the report view and select line chart from the visualization pane. Use dates with hierarchy on the x-axis. Let's drag sales count into the y-axis. And that's not helpful because it's not showing the calculation. So is this telling me that my calculation is correct? Oh, this will be tough. This will be tough. We need to figure out the sales count. Let's remove this and look at our calculations one more time. Is filtered dates, does dates. It's fitting the dates column. var previous calculate sales count, date add, dates, date, want it to be year over year. If I compare it with this previous one, oh, I didn't mention the year. I think I didn't mention the period -1. I think that's what I'm missing there. I'm missing the period interval. But my date add contain how many functions? Dates, the date, comma, the time period, this is there now. -1 is there. Oh, what am I not missing? So this was a quick measure that was actually created in Power BI. Divide total sales. Oh, I think I'm still saying divide. Oh, the mistake is somewhere here. Divide sales counts. Mine should be sales. I think I did this part of the formula. Oh, let's check one more time. I think that was my mistake. Now let's check again. Maybe that couldn't display it. Let's drop sales counts. Oh, nope. I want to drop it in the charts. Oh, still can't display it. Why? Why? I'm missing something. Oh, I'm missing something in my sales count. What am I missing? So I'm saying this variable previous quarter is equal to this calculation that is there. Then in the return clause, return divides sales count minus previous quarter, previous quarter. That should be correct now. So I'm definitely missing something. Okay, let's seek some help and open the actual one of the final files. So the idea is to give it a try and seek for help. This is my own file. This is the solution file here. So if I look at their calculation, the sales count, to be sincere, I got this. Then why is it wrong from my own end? You can see the sales count is saying sales count. This is the solution file. Let me compare it with my own actual calculation. If I open my own sales count here, so that was my mistake. You see, But the date add function, date add dot dates. Okay. I think I'm seeing my mistake here. Probably I'm supposed to change this to year. This is supposed to be in dates. So I've seen my error, but I need to understand the date function pretty well. Oh, this is not working fine now. That's date add. But to look at it, I need to understand the date add function first. I even try to create a new measure and call on the date add function. Just name it anything. Go to date add. So date add as dates. Number of intervals should be no interval at the interval. Okay. Oh, okay. Let's continue with this then. And I'm going to supposed to add the words. I made one silly mistake in mind there. Sales count year over year by using year, the dates in the hierarchy. Dates, the date hierarchy. Okay. Oh, so I think I can do that. I think I should be able to drill down. So according to the graph just created, what is the sales count for the year 2019? So if I drill up back, so the sales count for the year 2019 is sales count in percentage 705%. So I want to do 20 for the year, not year sales count. So this is what I want. So 2019 is 358%. 358%. That's interesting. Oh, that's correct. So we're able to solve that with some help. Oh, we finished this part of the course. That's interesting. Ooh.
Congratulations on completing this introductory DAX course. Throughout this course, we have covered some fundamental topics in DAX. In Chapter 1, we had a look at a portion of the functions available when writing DAX. You learn the importance and process of creating calculated columns and measures. Chapter 2 took us a step up in understanding context and how it applies in Power BI. Next, you learn how to extend your measures even further by using variables, iterators, and calculate. In the final chapter, we learned about the importance of having a dedicated date table and how to write DAX code to create a calculated table. Finally, we introduced some date and time and format functions to expand our date table. In addition, we learned how to create quick measures that use time-intelligent functions to create complex DAX code. Now time for you to use the skills that you've learned in your own project. Practice makes perfect. We hope that these lessons have helped build a foundation for you to start writing your own DAX code. Become a DAX master, and when you're ready, try one of our more intermediate DAX courses.
Thank you. That was quite interesting, playing with DAX. So I think, let's go back to the dashboard. So I think we are starting the next course. That should be data visualization in Power BI. The audience is king. Exercises, know your audience in Power BI. That is quite interesting. That we should be starting that in day 8. Yeah. Know your audience.
Welcome to this course on.
Let's take a break. We spend an hour practicing DAX. Alright, so that will be the end of the live stream. And if I go back to my career track, data visualization in Power BI. Just get started.
Welcome to this course on data visualization in Power BI. In this course, we will combine a discussion of the psychology of data.
So I'm not supposed to have completed that. So we'll start beta in progress. We have nothing here. Probably when I start beta the next day. Alright, so thanks for staying to the end of the live stream. If you found value in this live streaming, and learning journey of Microsoft Power BI, 100 days of Microsoft Power BI. Do support the channel by giving this video a thumbs up, drop a comment in the comment section, share your thoughts with me, and I'll see you on day 8. Don't forget to practice also, and you'll see all the files, solutions also to the exercise files along. But make sure to try and get your own dirty first, so to make sense out of the data set. I'll see you when we start data visualization in Power BI. The audience is the king. All right. Take care of yourself and have a wonderful day ahead. I'll see you in the next video on the channel.